Good morning. I was walking this morning a little before sunrise, and there in front of me, in a beautiful colored sky, cloudless this morning, was the moon, a sliver of the moon. And it reminded me of how the moon operates in a rhythm. I mean, it has its cycle. It turns in just such a way that we always see the moon in this perfect alignment. We always see the same man in the moon, so to speak. It doesn't change. And it has a rotation as it moves around the earth. Oops. One moment. That's the first. I had to turn this thing off. Anyway, the moon has a rhythm. And I'm not suggesting that the moon has a kind of consciousness like we do, and that it has self-trained itself to do these things. But we can look at nature around us, and it can remind us easily of many, many yogic principles. The first sutra of the Yoga Sutras, Atta Yoganushasana. I know there's different opinions about what these words mean. Some say Anushasana means at this auspicious moment. Somewhere in his discussion, Swami Rama says, what does this mean to talk auspicious? That's not what it's about. What this word in this first sutra is about is discipline, and that it's suggesting that finally we are willing and able to discipline ourselves. That's what the moon reminded me of, that it's about self-training. Are we willing to train ourselves to do the yamas and the niyamas? Are we willing to train ourselves to follow systematic meditation practice, working with relationships, working with ourselves, commitment to introspection, sitting still, working with breath, and then training the conscious, exploring the unconscious minds, and moving on? Are we willing to do these? Well, this is self-training, and it's simply a matter, I know it's not easy, but it's simply a matter of self-training. So why am I out there walking most every day before sunrise? It's simply a matter of cultivating habits. When we have our meditation time and we say, what is my main meditation time every day? Or how many times per day am I going to sit for even 1 minute or less of meditation? Early, many, many years ago, probably 30 years ago, I ran into a comment that Swami Rama had written, says something like, those who want to have self-realization quickly will meditate 4 times a day. And I have used that simple sentence as the backbone of meditation retreats and what we do here in our little ashram. I have used that principle as the basis for many, many years. And the principle being, no, discipline is simply that there is morning, there is evening before rest time, there's a time right around midday, most of us know as noon or something like that, and there's somewhat a time somewhere around sunset. And the principle of doing this is that I'm going to do something at those times. And it's establishing a rhythm. This is what I'm saying the moon reminded me of this morning. It's simply a matter of establishing a rhythm, that I start my day with some quiet time. And around midday, I give myself some quiet time. And near the end of the day, near the transition from the activities of the day into the evening, give myself some quiet time. And before I go to bed to sleep for the night, to get ready for tomorrow morning's meditation, before I go to bed, I give myself a little bit of quiet time. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just simply not that hard to do. And if we can't do 4, then do 3. If we can't do 3, then do 2. Start the day and end the day with some quiet time. And if we absolutely are totally undisciplined and we don't want to have anything to do with this rhythm business, okay, then once a day. And so there's a way to think of it. But again, the point I'm trying to make here that I was reminded of by the moon this morning is it has its habits. And again, I'm not saying that the moon is consciously doing this in the way we self-train ourselves, but look around us. Nature has many, many lessons to us. This is the way the yogis originally discovered a lot of these principles, by simple observation and then mimicking what happens in nature. And so what do we do with our food habits? If we're talking about food habits as being atta, part of now, part of the preparation to be able to get to the point where I say, finally, I'm going to discipline myself to introspect. You know, there's a rhythm in food habits that lead up to that. Saucha, purifying of body and mind, means eat good, healthy food. We all have different opinions out there, and a modern way of saying it is evidence-based food. Follow the evidence. There's a tremendous amount of research out there now that's available to all of us about food. I should get some physical exercise every day. I should do some either very, very highly skilled or some small level of postural yoga, physical yoga postures, which is very popular in our world today. Some of that every day is very useful. Some form of physical exercise in the old conventional way, aerobics, something is very, very useful. I walk 3 to 5 miles a day, every day, and the only time I miss that is if something's wrong with the body or if it's heavy rains and I don't want to get totally soaked in the rain. I'm no great guy. I'm just talking about rhythm, and it's just a matter of developing a habit. So we have a habit around here. I will say to Matri, or she will say to me, "Want to go take a walk?" And sure, the standard answer is sure, unless something else is going on, like an online meeting or something like that. And so we'll just go do another lap. There's a lap. There's a block where the ashram is. One round around this block is exactly 1/2 a mile. I've checked it with Google Maps. I've checked it with the odometer in a vehicle, and it's 1/2 a mile. So 2 laps is a mile. So my personal standard is a minimum of 6 laps a day. It's a minimum of 3 miles a day. Occasionally that doesn't happen, but it's not very often that doesn't happen. And again, what are we talking about here? Rhythms. Have a rhythm in relationships with the people closest to you. You know, the simple act of saying good morning. What do we mean when we say good morning? Swami Rama referred to this as Western mantras. We say these words without any meaning. But if we say a greeting to people we know well in the morning, and we say it with richness and honesty and love and purity and words like that, it's a beautiful, wonderful part of having rhythm in the day. Having a greeting, not what's the opposite of a greeting, a farewell or something, saying good night to another person. You know, what do parents do with their children when they put them to bed to rest for the evening? They go give them a hug, and give them a kiss, and tell them they love them, and take the blanket or the sheet and pull it up over the child. We can do little things like that for ourselves and for the closest people to it. Have a rhythm. Again, this is all I'm talking about today. is that in terms of self-training, self-discipline, none of us like the D word, discipline. I'm not disciplined. I have great problem with discipline. Well, don't think discipline, think rhythm. Just start to increase rhythms in daily life. It's a wonderful, wonderful basis for meditation. We think that we're going to have no rhythm in our lives, and then we're going to plop down on our butt and suddenly I'm going to go to samadhi. No, it doesn't work that way. We need to have rhythm. So anyway, rhythm and self-training. And remember the moon. Remember our friend the moon that shows us the principle of rhythm. Every month, once a month, it shows us its full side, called full moon. And every month, once a month, it shows us its new side, where we can barely see it because it appears to be totally black. Allow the moon, don't turn moon into a god, I don't mean it that way, but allow the moon to be a reminder of rhythm, okay? Have a wonderful day, or a wonderful afternoon, or a wonderful evening. And most of all, have a nice, wonderful rhythmic meditation. And gentle self-training in life, okay? Om Tat Sat. Om. Om Tat Sat. Om is where it's at. Om is what's happening. Om Tat Sat. Bye-bye.